made it home, I dug her out, then I made her one of my aces. Marijuana fragrance, this tree here is outrageous. Want me to play in your city? Send an email to my agent.
Only one game into the season, at least one gameplay episode, and we're already shaking things up. I found this deal and I couldn't pass it up. Miguel Sano was one of my favorite prospects in baseball, and I'm really just kind of getting an upgrade. Clay Rapata is a Rule 5 draft pick, and Austin Kearns I've been looking to get rid of. We're going to trade Trevor Story as well, but we're basically getting an upgrade with Miguel Sano, and we also are going to grab Luis Cruz, an extra utility infielder. So that's a really good trade for us. We're going to be calling up Albert Almora as well as Joe Katomer to the Major League Baseball roster. They played enough time in AAA this year that we will get one extra year of team control with them. So that's always a good thing, and that's pretty much it. We're going to make one more move. It is going to be trading Marcell Ozuna and Zach Cox. Then Michael Brady is an extra reliever we threw in. We're going to get three really good relievers from the Brewers, including Mike Adams, who Ryan has said is the second best cutter in Major League Baseball. I could definitely agree with that. The reason I wanted to trade Zach Cox and Marcell Ozuna was with the additions of Joe Katomer and Albert Almora to the big league club. We didn't really have a place for them. I didn't want to send them back to AAA, so I was kind of looking around for some deals I could get for them, and I'm always up for getting a few extra relievers, so we get a couple nice ones. I really think Mike Adams might be a good trade chip towards the midseason part of this season. But anyway, we're going up against the Cleveland Indians in this episode, a rematch of the 1997 World Series, from which the Marlins did come out on top in 7 games on Edgar Renteria's walk-off single back up the middle. I believe it was up the middle. I can't quite remember, but anyway, this episode's not going to be too much about the gameplay. I kind of want to talk about where I'm going from here with the team, what I'm doing with the roster. So I've acquired a good core of young talent, and we're going to be showcasing some of that young talent today with Alan Webster on the hill. And, you know, it's almost, you don't have too much young talent, but we have almost a surplus of young talent in that I think we can start using some of that talent to kind of get more, not blue chip type of players, but more established type of players, in that still young guys. I want young guys who are going to have some team control left on them, but I still want to, I want to have guys that I know are going to be well, or do well. I know that they're going to, yeah, I don't really know how to put it, but, you know, Dan Duquette, yeah, I always forget if it's Dan or Dave Duquette. I'm pretty sure it's Dan Duquette, though. He's the current GM of the Baltimore Orioles, but he was the GM of the Red Sox in the late 90s, early 2000s, and he kind of ran himself out of town a little bit. He was a little bit nuts towards the end, but he came in with the mindset of getting young talent, and he, you know, right off the bat, he acquired Pedro Martinez from the Montreal Expos, and then he ended up signing Manny Ramirez for that lucrative 8-year, $160 million contract, which was record-setting at the time. But, you know, those were 2 young guys that he was able to bring in, and they really helped build that team up to the 2004 World Series team. So, you know, I'm trying to do something similar. I want young talent like that. You know, I don't want just prospects anymore. I'm going to start to look for guys who are going to be Major League ready. They're already established. We know they're good. So, you know, I'm trying to build my team around like that. You know, I'm trying to, you know, I have Giancarlo Stanton, all right? Like, I really want to keep him for the long term. We'll have to see what happens when his contract is in the final year in a couple years. But anyway, as for now, I really want to keep Giancarlo Stanton. You know, I want to develop maybe one of our pitchers into an ace type, and then maybe try to acquire another one. Maybe get like a Matt Moore type. I found a good trade for Matt Moore, but I really don't see the Rays trading Matt Moore in real life. It's a little bit unrealistic, but we'll think about it more and more as we get towards the trade deadline. You know, I want to get guys like Matt Moore. I want to get guys like Jared Parker. Guys like that, they're established. They're, you know, they're going to be there. We know that they're going to be good. And, you know, Alan Webster struggled a little bit here. His ERA's up in the 5s. He's going to have a decent game today as Michael Bourne does get the bunt single there. But he definitely projects to be probably our 3rd or 4th pitcher if we do end up keeping him for the long haul. Now, I'm a big fan of Alan Webster in real life, but in this game, he's been shaky at best since he joined the team last summer. So, you know, we'll have to see what we do. That's really what I want to talk about, though. You know, let me know if you guys have any ideas of some really good young talent. Like I said, I'm not looking for the prospects of the world. I'm trying to think about, you know, getting 2 or 3 guys that are really established, that are really gonna be there for the long haul, and you know, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but, you know, I try to think of the Matt Moores of the world, the, you know, I don't want to say the Bryce Harpers of the world, but, you know, to put it in MLB perspective, or MLB The Show perspective, Bryce Harper was an 87 overall in his rookie season with an A potential. He was about 20 years old, 19 years old, I think. So think of guys around that area, probably a little bit older. You're not going to be seeing too many 19-year-olds or 20-year-olds in the bigs with that kind of overall. Obviously, he's kind of a once-in-a-generation type of prospect, but try to think of guys with that kind of, not pedigree, but, I think you guys know what I mean. So, I'm trying to think of guys like that, and then we can build up with Yasiel Puig and Miguel Sano. Those are two middle-of-the-order type of bats. I really wanted to know because he has incredible power. I'm trying to think that those guys can kind of project as our 5-6 hole hitters for the future, probably. Then maybe we get, we got Giancarlo there, and maybe we can get a 4-hole hitter, being one of those guys that I'm talking about, one of those blue chip type of guys. Maybe who's going to be our Manny, and who's going to be our Pedro. I mean, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for at this point. So, anyway, let me know if you guys have any ideas. I definitely want to keep building around Rob Brantley, Donovan Solano, and Logan Morrison. So I don't want to trade away them, although with Joe Katomer up now, it's hard to play him and Morrison because I don't really have a spot in the outfield for Morrison unless I dealt Almora or something, which I might end up doing. I'm not really too sure yet, but either way, right now Katomer's only playing against lefties. Morrison's getting the starts against righties, so it's kind of hard to balance that, but that's really the best I can do at this point. Obviously, when we play American League teams in their ballpark, we do end up DHing Katomer because his fielding is absolutely horrendous, but oh well, what are you going to do? You can't keep his bat out of the lineup. He is going to be so good for us, but either way, I'm excited for the draft coming up this year too. I hope I can draft another blue chip prospect like Joe Katomer and hopefully have him for the future. We're going to end up walking Carlos Santana here to get to the pitcher spot, Johan Santana, and hopefully that will pay dividends. I think, the pitcher's up now, so once you count to him, he's going to actually hit a blooper to center field. Almora's charging in, he's going to grab it, but he does not have a strong arm, and he's going to not be able to throw out the base runner as Asdrubal Cabrera. So another run in for the Cleveland Indians. It's 4-0 now. Webster really unraveled as we got into the 6th inning. He pitched 5 innings of 1-run ball, but he really struggled towards the end. So anyway, that's really what I want to talk about. I just want to talk about getting that type of young talent onto the team for now. We'll see where we go. I really think that that's going to be a thing for maybe not necessarily this trade deadline, but definitely in the offseason coming up. Probably 7-8 episodes down the road. But think about it then. Maybe we'll try to make a move during the trade deadline, but I don't know. It's a lot easier to make those kind of moves during the offseason, so we'll see what happens. That's the movement that I want to go in, though. I really do think that we have the assets available. I mean, we have a guy like Adene Hechavarria, who the Rays, and this is part of MLB's broken trade logic, but it's like the Rays will do Hechavarria for Matt Moore straight up. Obviously, I wouldn't do that. I would throw in like Alan Webster and like Steve Cishek to make it fair or something. But that just tells you how much trade value Adene Hechavarria has, and Cishek has some trade value. I don't value a closer as much as probably other teams do in this game, so he's the guy with some trade value. We got Webster, and then we got guys like Justin Nicolino and Henderson Alvarez and Nathan Eovaldi who have drawn some interest. So anyway, we got running on second and third here. Santana still on the mound. Luis Cruz is going to hit that one too deep left field. Matt Holliday is there. Yes, that is Matt Holliday, who... Man, I was looking back at that trade that the Oakland A's got him for. I always forget they used to have Carlos Gonzalez. That was such a bad trade for the A's. One of the few moves I really disagree with from Billy Beane. But either way, we're going to bring in Mike Adams here in the top of the 8th. We're going to get him some work. You can see that .09 ERA. He's a guy that I'd like to make a deal for in this trade deadline. I acquired him because I could kind of get him to throw in there. And the Brewers had a ton of relievers, so they were pretty, they were pretty fine with giving up a few extras. And I was just really happy that I was able to get Mike Adams. I think we're going to be able to get some good talent back for him at some point. But anyway, he would end up getting a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 8th. Now in the bottom of the 8th, one runner on. Johan Santana still on the mound. And today was just classic Santana. He was working that circle change, the pitch that really, he was a different pitcher when he developed that circle change. It led him to those 2 Cy Youngs, 2004 and 2006. And he was just really impressive today. He looked like classic Johan. And it was good to see. I loved seeing Johan Santana pitch when he was on those Twins teams. I think Liriano's rookie season was 2006, and I remember him and Santana were so good that rookie year before Liriano blew out his arm. But either way, you can see the closer in now, Vinny Pastano. He's going to get Joe Katomer to pop out to center field there for the first out of the 9th inning. Next up is Miguel Sano. Like I said, this guy has incredible power. I'm so glad I got Miguel Sano. He's also a Dominican player. I think I've talked about it before, but I like the idea of getting a lot of Cuban and Dominican type players in this team, or on this team I should say, because it just kind of goes with the culture surrounding Miami. That's something that the Marlins front office wanted to do. They would try to go out and get Yoenis Cespedes. They tried to go out and get our Lotus Chapman before, when those guys were on the free agent block. But anyway, Rob Brantley grounds out to the shortstop there. A nice play by Mike No Ranger Vilas, who for some reason substituted for Asdrubal Cabrera as a defensive replacement, quote unquote, for the 9th inning. I was shocked by that move because Asdrubal Cabrera is pretty much as good as they come, you know, for shortstop defensively. And Mike Vilas can't say the same thing. So anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video for me. So I thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy. So I'm out. Peace.